Finds it. This is right there. Plus, you sent the reminder on top of it.
Yeah, that's what he told me he was going to be there. So
Hopefully, he'll remember. You know, usually he's good about remembering. It's just more technical usually.
uh, can't get in again. I don't know why.
Oh, we can't get in again.
He's
He
doing
probably didn't.
something wrong.
Yeah, there's something he's not doing from the he didn't get. He didn't look for the newer email. He's probably going by the old emails because the newer email was clear. I could clearly see it. It's I'm not sure what that's about.
And I can't, and at my keyboard, I can't even type him an email because my keyboard's broke.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a new keyboard. They sent me the wrong one. So I can't even email him.
I think he didn't pull the newest. I'm just gonna let me just find out what's going on. No, yes,
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Yes.
Welcome to the December 12th Commission on Disabilities meeting. If we could take a moment to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If Pauline, if you could do a roll call of the members.
I absolutely can. So Ralph DeChico.
Present.
And Pauline Perno is present. Jason Barone, I know is
Here.
present.
Yeah.
We've been talking. Mario Gramanis is in the.
He's having some technical difficulties. He just let us know, and we're trying to make sure he has the right link to get in.
Okay. Robert Brown.
No, haven't heard from him.
Ellie Vargas.
That she's just on mute. Present.
Okay.
Vargas is here. Present.
Present. Sorry. Present.
Okay. Thank you. Asma Alfuda.
He's absent.
Absent. And Sophia Marmuda.
Absent. I think she may have gone away for school because I have not been able to get in touch with her.
Okay.
So we'll take a look at that at the first of the year.
Great.
So there's that. So item number one is hopefully the members here have received the meeting notes from last meeting. And so item number one is a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the November 14th meeting.
Motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Okay, made by Jason and second by Pauline. Okay. Item number two on the agenda is updates, next steps from the November 14th meeting. The only thing that we had as carryover is the usual thing that we carry over as just any updates from Pauline regarding calendars, updates for future monthly guest speakers.
And as you and I have discussed, Ralph, it's been an act of Congress emailing, calling people, waiting for calls back, emails back, even if they can say, no, we can't come this month, whatever. So I will continue to pine away at all of that. And certainly if anyone has any suggestions, I'm open to just about anything. I'm kind of trying to think outside of the box, reaching out. I have placed an additional phone call to, I'm not sure of his exact title. It's over at the Franciscan Children's Hospital at the Kennedy Day School. He is the director of, it's not recreational programs, but it might be physical therapy and activities. He's been doing some great work over there. So I'm trying to get in touch with him. I did have to call over there to get a message to him because I don't have an internal way of getting around. So I am waiting on that. And hopefully maybe he, come January, we can have a guest speaker. So, but if anyone certainly has any suggestions or anything, so please either reach out to me or Ralph or reach out yourselves and see if we can get some guests in here just to have another voice and another opinion and another point of view.
Yeah, especially Ellie, if you know anybody on the disability side, any of the groups that you belong to, if you know
Mhm.
anyone that would like to come as a guest speaker for one of our monthly meetings, please let us know. I know you're heavily involved in a lot of organizations for the disability world. So if you know of anyone, reach out to Pauline with their contact information and see if they would like to come and speak at one of our monthly
Thank you.
meetings.
Okay, will do.
And also, Pauline, Robert Brown is present now for the meeting. One
Okay.
thing that we need, Bob, if possible, if we've been asked if we can have our cameras on during our meeting for our commission members.
Okay. Yep. Just give me
Either that or a
give me a
photo of
couple
yourself,
minutes.
or just what we need on there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just give
Right,
me
it's just to show that we are present for the meeting.
no, of course. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. Check some. Item number 3. Pauline, could you take over the meeting notes minutes for agenda for 1 minute?
Yes, certainly. So again, item number 3 is a guest speaker, and due to it being the holiday season, we don't have a guest speaker. I have actually reached out to a couple of people for this month, and I never got any response back, and I do apologize for that. Hoping that we might be able to get again a different voice, a different point of view in. So with that said, anybody has any ideas, any contacts, please let me know. I will be happy to reach out. I will be happy to try to schedule, get in. And if they can't come January, but we have someone for February and March, that'd be really great as well. So that's where we are on guest speakers. I'm going to skip over item number 4, which is the Commissions on Disabilities Alliance monthly Zoom meeting, because that was Ralph's information, and he is going to provide the details when he rejoins us. And item number 5, CPAC, December, January events. How are we doing with that, Robert? Anything on the forefront coming up for CPAC?
As of right now, no. We haven't. I know how crazy the school season's getting. The school year, and we haven't got a chance to meet recently, and
Okay.
so I haven't really heard anybody. I know that the last that we were still trying to figure out was the election, and so from there, as of right now, unfortunately, there's no updates.
Okay. When was your last meeting, just so that we'll have a time frame that we're looking at?
Our last meeting was September.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you. All right. And okay, so there's nothing to report from the interim. And when is your next scheduled meeting?
As of right now, we don't have one.
All right.
But I will as soon as I
update
get,
Ralph. We can add
absolutely.
it in.
Yeah, I'll CC you in it as well.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Robert.
Not a problem.
Look forward to hearing from that, and hopefully CPAC can get off the ground, no pun intended, in January and February, and maybe in time for a Valentine's Day dance, or some kind of Easter and springtime, a spring bunny hop or spring fling or something. That might be fun. Maybe look into.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%.
Okay, great. All right, so moving right along on item number 6, we have a variety of winter programs that are being offered for people with disabilities. The Mass Department of Conservation and Recreation, also known as DCR, will be running a universal access program. The link is in our notes and in our posting, and so it would be on the website as well. And this was going to provide some opportunities for people with disabilities to participate in adaptive winter sports in events, so in recreation. So if you're someone who likes to ice skate, but you no longer have the adequate use of your lower limbs, go take a spin in your wheelchair. That might be fun. And I've seen events like this happening, and actually to tag on to that, there was a wheelchair dance-a-thon and dance competition that I was watching, and I think it was on. It was quite interesting to see. So that is beginning this week. Specific locations are for the Take a Spin at the indoor ice rink is at the East Boston Palazzo rink. And you can go directly to their website, which is www.mass.gov/location/Palazzo Memorial Rink. There are also other adaptive sports, and I know that recently I've had friends go down to the seaport and they say that the accessibility for alternative, whether it's wheelchair or whether it's walker or scooter, whatever, has been very, very good this year. So I'm looking forward to going down. I have not yet been down, but
Polly, what I'm
yeah.
going to do, I'm going to share my screen now so we can show those links right now.
Okay,
And Mario is here. While I was talking, I was sending him a link from
thank
my email. So it looks like that might have worked. So I'm
Mhm.
going to do a screen share so that I can pull up the agenda on the screen that will show all these links.
Yeah, that's Take a Spin on the Ice sounds like fun. It really does. And I think that that's just one more way that we're going to be getting some inclusivity into the winter sports. I know that myself, winter's not my prime time, shall we say. It's too
Okay.
cold, too icy, but certainly, yeah, take advantage of these things that are,
Yeah. Hoping this information helped. I found some of this information, so I'd like to pass it out to the community.
Yeah.
And now you can see, this will be accessed on the agenda that's posted on the city calendar, and it's also all this information for the meeting is posted on the Revere Commission on Disabilities page. And when you go there, all you have to do is just hit these blue hyperlinks, and they'll take you right to the pages. But I just wanted everyone in the community to see what these links look like. And there's that, like Pauline was saying, thank you for taking that over for me. I'm not sure how far you got on it, but I just wanted to let everybody know that I posted the agenda right on here.
We basically got to, this Taking a Spin. And I did mention that I know that the Seaport has opened their winter Wonderland. And I've heard from friends, I haven't gone down yet, but I've heard from friends that the accessibility is pretty decent. They said that they were quite pleased. So that's something to keep in mind too, if, while you're out and about and, if you want to go someplace different, something new. I know that there's food vendors. I know that there's skating. I know that there's all kinds of different crafting things and stuff. They said that it's really, really nice. So I haven't been, I've never been, and I can't wait to.
Which one was that at?
This is down the Seaport.
Okay.
They've
Okay.
Seaport into the Winter Wonderland.
Okay.
Friends that have gone, they said that it's that they feel that they have seen excellent accessibility
Perfect.
at from
Yeah,
able.
and there's a bunch of different DCR rinks that do it, but I posted just the East Boston rinks. That was the closest one right now.
I don't know if their rink is equipped for that just because I don't think it's that big, but and again, I know firsthand. So it might be something to take note of, or even go on to the Winter Wonderland for Boston Seaport.
Okay, thank you, Pauline. Thank you for that. And like I said, any commission members that know anything like this is what I'm asking for you to let me know, to put it into our agenda, our monthly agenda, because we want to let the community members know about things like that. It doesn't have to be just programs that are inside Revere in the surrounding communities, because we want to let everyone know of accessible programs for people with disabilities or people with mobility issues, because there's a lot out there that people don't know about. So this is some valuable information, and I do my best to try and find as much information I can. There's a lot out there. So that this is the hope that I need from all the commission members, to, once you know of things, find them, send them to me, and we can add that into the agenda. Like we're doing winter ones, there's also plenty of summer events that they have in different areas. So sure if Pauline, you have anything else you wanted to add to that, or if anybody else has anything they wanted to add to this.
No, I just, if I should go down to the seaport in the next, week or two, I will see if I can get some pictures and at least send them back to you, and maybe we can add it into just a review, because I guess it's going to be through at least January, February. I haven't gone downtown, like down to the common, not sure what they're doing with the skating rink on Frog Pond. If that's up and running and how accessible it is. But again, I have folks that I know that are going down to that area quite frequently, and I will put them on the docket.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.
Anyone else, any other members have any questions or anything to add? Item number 6.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Now I need to go back, I believe, to
We did skip go to meeting.
item number 4.
Yep.
Okay. Item number 4, I was waiting for formal notes to be sent. We usually get formal notes from our quota, which is the Commission on Disabilities Alliance monthly Zoom meeting that happened last Wednesday, December 6th. They didn't send me formal ones, so I just have a draft of notes that I took during the meeting. Basically, a couple of different Commission disabilities. We had some discussions about MAAB, which is the Massachusetts Architectural Access Board, regarding variance timings and processes. When a business or a development is looking for variances through the Architectural Access Board, they send their requests and what relief they're looking for to the Massachusetts Architectural Access Board. And when that gets sent to them, they also notify the city or town's building inspection office, along with the ADA / chair of the Commission on Disabilities, which I have been getting. There's a 30-day appeal window that can be done by either the building department or the Commission on Disabilities that we haven't had to appeal anything. And I just wanted to know if it's the will of this commission, if we do get any communications for any variances, if this commission wants me to bring them forward to the commission to take a look at, just to see what's coming. It can be a lengthy process, and it's not that we probably would be able to vote on to ask for if we have any issues and want to appeal it. But I take that upon myself to do. But just if you all want to be informed on that, if we do get any, I could start adding that to the monthly agenda. But we could, if somebody wants to make a motion, that if we want to add that to the agenda, we can make a motion on it and take a roll call on it. It's whatever the will of the commission is.
I personally would like to see them.
Okay, so if you want to make a motion to see Architectural Access Board variances, you make a motion if somebody seconds it.
I second that.
Okay, and then if you want to do a roll call and you just ask all the members.
Okay, Ralph?
Yes.
Yes, I know. I thought of that after I opened my mouth. Thank you. It's been a long day.
Yeah, you got to just ask everybody.
Yep. So myself, yes. Jason?
Yes.
Ellie?
Yes.
Mario?
Yes.
And Robert?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Motion's approved. And then if we'll approve that, we'll just put that in there. So from moving forward, if I do get any communications from the Architectural Access Board for any variances, I will add them to the agenda, or a brief summation of it, along with attaching the variance documentations in the monthly email that I send the Friday before for everyone to review before the meeting.
Excellent.
Perfect. Thank you. Also, there was also some discussions from different commissions about the Mass Office on Disability grants timeline. Each year, the Mass Office on Disabilities puts out availability of a grant process that you can appeal for. It's one of the grants that I applied for back in 2018. I actually applied for it in 2017, then I didn't get it, and was awarded when I reapplied in 2018. That we were awarded $250,000 at that time to do a self-evaluation plan and transition plan for all the municipal buildings, to see what they meet for ADA compliance and whatnot. So we have that. Unfortunately, what had happened after that was completed in 2019, we all know what happened with the COVID pandemic. So everything fell to the forefront, but I am working with the current administration to try and bring that all to the forefront, and take a look at all that with different departments and whoever's going to be in charge of it, to see what needs to be done on some of that transition plan, so that we could discuss anything that needs to be done on the yearly capital improvement plan that's taken up each year before the budgeting process. So that's what I will be working on that. But like I said, everything, because of COVID, threw everything for a little bit of a loop, and different things. There was different priorities that came to the forefront with the pandemic, health issues and whatnot. So everybody was going in all different directions. Now that everything seemed to subside, and hopefully with this new the first of the year and the new year, we'll be able to sit down with the administration, and see about working on that along with the city community development office, to see what we can disseminate out of the transition plan, to see what the needs are that we could try and correct, if any need to be correct, or be taken care of in the proper way. If that makes sense to everyone, if anybody has any questions or whatnot.
Oh, sounds good.
Okay. The other thing that came up was accessibility. Some of the commission from cities and towns talked about accessible parks, and how some of the cities and towns are trying to make their parks more accessible. Revere has been working on this. Also at the last, I'm not sure who has saw the last city council meeting. Councilor Powers had asked that the community, some of the community block money that is fund money that's set up from when developments build in their area. There's money set aside for projects within that ward, that he's looking to get the playground at the Oak Island Park, the material to have the wood chips taken out and make the rubber mat, which is ADA compliant. Unfortunately, I wasn't at that meeting, but I had called in and asked that they can make an amendment to that motion and also include the playground all the way in behind the Paul Revere School, because when we built that playground, it was done in conjunction with I'm drawing a blank for the company that we worked with, but they did not have the funds to allow us to, along with the city funds that we put in, to put the rubber mat and had to do wood chips. And people say, well, the wood chips are compliant, but they are not ADA compliant. So I asked if we could amend that to also include that playground. So they're going to look into that.
Great.
So that, wheelchairs and people with mobility issues have issues with going through the wood chips. They can't get through the wood chips. So you need that rubberized material that most of the playgrounds now have. So be looking at that. So that came up at the the CODA meeting. So I just wanted to let you know, because, with that, that's something that was in the back burner, and our city council looked at it. So I brought it up for one of our playgrounds, because they brought it up for another playground. Most of the playgrounds do have that rubber mat. I believe there's one other playground that also has wood chips, and that's the playground in front of the SBA school on Newhall Street, also has wood chips. But the playground all the way in the back, in front of the Whalen School entry, has the rubberized matting. But if I'm mistaken, then there is also any other playgrounds that I am forgetting that have wood chips, just let me know.
Yeah, that is, and just you are, yes, the one that is off of New Holland Sargent, that one has the chips, and then the one that's for the students only in the back has the foam mats.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so that's item number 4 that we had skipped. You did item number 5, as I heard
Yep.
you on that. We did item number 6.
Yep.
Item number 7, commission members' late items. I do have one late item, which is great news.
Okay,
And what it is I know I mentioned it. I don't recall if I mentioned it at the November meeting, but I believe I mentioned it at the October meeting, that through the Revere Department of Public Health, I was made aware of a grant that was available through the state's Department of Public Health, that would be able to do what's called a CHI accessibility, to see about making either areas or facilities more accessible, for people with disabilities, and so forth. And I had applied for that grant at that time. The grant was for $18,000, and it's for assessments and to see what the needs are in certain areas. And I applied for the grant. My focus was for the George V. Colella Community Center at the Garfield School, that I wanted to see about some more accessibility, areas of need in that center, along with other things that could be needed there. And I'm also have some partners that I'm going to be partnering with, such as Revere on the Move, the Revere Rec Center, the Senior Center, and the Boston Center for Independent Living in Mass General, to name a few. The day before Thanksgiving, I received an email that the city of Revere was awarded that grant, for the $18,000, to go through and do the assessment. So I will be doing that. And also, when I came back on the Monday after Thanksgiving, I received a second email from the Department of Public Health that they wanted to know if I would be willing to take an additional grant. And of course, I said yes. So I'm receiving additional monies. The thing with this grant is there is a time constraint. It has to be used and completed by May 31st. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I need to have preliminary meetings with the different community partners that I've looked to join me on it. Also, then once we do that, then I also have to do field assessments of the Garfield School myself, along with what I'd like to do is I pointed out a couple of the commission members that are I know that would hopefully be willing to help with that. So hopefully we'll be able to get that done, because I do have a timeline that I have to meet. you know, the Garfield, a lot of people really don't know. We've talked to a couple of people, don't know that there's a pool there
Oh,
at the Garfield Community Center. So there's a pool area. So, and there's other issues there. When I do an assessment, I want to make sure there's more accessibility needs at that building for that pool area, plus signage. Plus, want to find out since we're partnering with the Rivera on the Move and MGH, we're going to see if we can do some surveys of the residents, see what their accessibility needs are, and so forth like that. So it's everything is a moving target right now. In plan, and we'll be having a preliminary meeting with all the community partners, hopefully by the first week of January. So I'm not sure if anyone has any questions on that. It's just high level right now, but at least we were awarded the grant, which is great news.
Yeah.
I will volunteer if you need to help you.
Okay.
I'll help
Sounds
you.
awesome.
I'll go in the pool.
Second that.
My aqua therapy.
Yeah.
there you go. That's funny.
Trying to think if there was any other late items that I had, or if any other members have any late items.
Yeah, actually, I have a couple. So one, I don't know if anyone saw it. First was Maura Hilly did finally there's an MBTA act that was put in that are now requiring Newton and a lot of places that don't have housing near the transit is now they have to come up with a plan. And if they don't with their zoning, then they're going to end up losing funding. So
Exactly.
which is good. I mean, that's a start. That's a start. But as to add to that, now I learned this about Florida, and I don't know if it happens up here, but wouldn't surprise me if it happens anywhere in New England. And maybe to put it on your quota, maybe they can start spreading across the country that what a lot of cities and towns will do so that they don't have to follow ADA compliance. And how we found this out, good example. In Florida, there was a home we were looking at, and it was 3 stories. So, of course, you need an elevator. But because it's 3 stories, they don't have to meet that requirement. But that's because the city put in that you couldn't build more than 3 stories. So if they put in a zoning requirement that prevents you from doing that, then you don't have to meet those requirements. So that's something else people need to start looking at. People think the ADA is clear and cut, and it's not like that. People work around this stuff.
Well, it's not only ADA.
Right.
Yeah. It's not only ADA, there's fair housing that goes for it, and then there's the access board that has this access board.
But the zoning gets around this stuff is the point. Yeah. And what it does is they'll say, okay, so if a place has 3 stories, they don't have to meet their requirements because zoning puts in to go around that. And then there'll be examples where, well, if it has a ground unit, then you meet the requirements, so you don't need to have the elevator. And then if there's, they're purposely trying to find ways to skirt the law is my point.
If they're getting federal dollars in a project,
that is the one, right?
They cannot circumvent any of the laws.
Oh, no, I know that, but that's the only exception. Other than that, but my point out of that is that not everybody's doing it. So a developer has no incentive otherwise to do so. Now, the other part I did get wind of, and this was something that a realtor brought to my attention. I wasn't aware of it. So apparently, what the state's trying to do now because we all talked about, well, how do you make affordable housing? Well, now what they're going to do, they're going to get those old state hospital areas to be available to the developers. But what I've heard, and I hope this definitely comes to fruition, which is that they have to be affordable in perpetuity as opposed to what New York did, which was they gave them a land and they only required it for 25 or 30 years. Well, of course, then now it's no longer affordable, so people can't live there anymore because you can't afford to maintain or whatever it may be. So, it just
the only thing that they have to do, not to cut you off, the thing that they have to do though to make it affordable, there's a couple of different criteria for affordable. Is it a 60% AMI or is it at 80%? So, what the loophole is, they all go to 80% for affordability, and that doesn't do much. You need the lower threshold. You need it at 60%. And that's where the real affordability comes in. So a lot of them will go for the higher threshold, but that doesn't really help a lot of people.
No, and I agree with you. No, my concern out of that was being that we're learning as now for wheelchairs not having access, or whether you're blind or whatever it may be, it's becoming more and more complex for people like that to find places to live. That was my whole point of that discussion. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that by putting this out there, that maybe somebody picks that up, and maybe and they start talking, and maybe
Yeah, and what they also have to do is when they do affordability, they need to put not only is it, when they do buildings, they one thing that they do is they make it a certain percentage has to be affordable, but what they also do is a certain percentage has to be accessible.
right,
But the problem that they do is they include that accessible in the affordable percentage, but it can't. It needs to be separate. You need to
right,
have affordable and you also need to have accessible and affordable. Because
right,
if you don't, you're limiting the amount of people that are accessible. Because if you have, I don't want to throw out numbers for percentages, but if you only have 10% that's both affordable and accessible, what that means is if you have 100, just say 100 apartments and 10% of them are affordable and accessible, what happens is that's 10 apartments. But out of that 10, you're not going to have 10 of them are not going to be all accessible. They'll be affordable, but you may only have two of them that are accessible. So what they need to do is they need to make a separate threshold. 10% of them need to be affordable. And then you also need 5%, an additional 5% need to be accessible, not include them in the same percentage.
right. I agree with you. I mean, that's why I wanted to throw that out there. I just think there's, what Julie and I are finding out, it's not as simple as everybody thinks, and that's why we've looked at, purchasing our own home again, because we're like, well, what do we do? It's
Right.
more affordable to put in a shower from a tub, and you can always take out carpet and put flooring in.
Yeah,
But
because
to
usually
get it,
there's lotteries for a lot of these. And
yep,
and that's the
exactly,
problem.
yep. And then a lot of times, or it's not big enough either. Wheelchairs, as Ellie knows, you need a lot of space to move, and a lot of, yeah. I mean, it's Ellie understands that you need space to move a wheelchair. You need
Right.
space, and
That's why I say that it needs to be a separate percentage. You can't include accessible apartments in the same amount of percentage for affordable. They have to both be affordable. There has to be a number for just affordable, and then there has to be a separate percentage for affordable and accessible.
And the same for purchase. When you go to purchase even condos, it's not as simple as people think. It's very complex when you're looking at that. Because what ends up happening is it's also a lot of times these places aren't even near transportation, I've noticed. So that's
Right.
another part of the problem. So then you end up further out, or you end up in a city that doesn't have as much. So
Right. They
you're
make them
fighting.
accessible. They make them accessible to live in, but they're not accessible to get anywhere.
There you go. That's exactly it. And then you're fighting. It's like you're fighting a no and win battle, and it's like the people that are getting hurt the most are either the elderly or the people that are needing this accessibility in some way. Because our wife, we were talking about, we're like these wealthy people that are buying these big condo things or big apartments downtown, and they're not even there most of the time. So
Right.
I just don't. I don't get it. I'm confused. I guess I.
Right. Oh, no, you're totally right. Totally right.
Um,
Anyone else have anything to input on that? Right. You have something else you wanted to talk about too, Jason?
nope, I'm good.
Okay.
Anyone
Else?
I have just one quick note, and it's coming off of something that I read. Now that it is getting colder out again, colder, warm, cold, warm, cold, warm. If you live in an area where you know that there is someone disabled or somebody who's elderly or someone who may have someone with a disabled child, et cetera, it won't hurt to keep an eye out, to keep a lookout. There was an incident that happened. The long and short of it is a neighbor hadn't been seen in some time and the person had passed away. But it doesn't hurt to, go knock on a door if you haven't seen someone or if you haven't heard from someone, or if something just doesn't seem right or doesn't smell right. The other thing is with people in heat, making sure that your vents are open and everything. So just kind of, it's 'tis the season to be mindful. Mindful of your neighbors, whether you like them or not, whether you get along with them or not. It's still your, but this is still your community. And someone, if you find someone in need, they may eventually be able to turn around and help you as well. And
Yeah.
not that you expect it, but it can happen. So just be mindful of the people that you live close to, live nearby, people that you might see. I know that I have a phone call also into Somerville, the city of Somerville, because they're putting into play a program that's matching teenagers who are looking for work. I don't know. This is why I called, because I don't know how they're funding it, if it is funded through the city or if it's grant money, whatever. Matching teenagers to people who are unable to shovel, don't have plow service, don't have the access to a plow service or a shovel or whatever, or cannot do it for whatever reason. They have a new program that's going, and I know that, yes, we have the Snow Angels. However, that's a very limited program, and it's done through the JROTC program. But I thought it was interesting that the city of Somerville is coming up with this matching program, and I thought it would be interested to find out just what it's about, how they're funding it, and what the particulars are. So again, check in on your neighbors. If you don't see them, give a knock on a door, ring the doorbell.
If
you
not, yeah, you can also call the local police to do a
Yep.
wellness check or.
A wellness check. And if you have their phone number,
Mhm.
just give them a jingle. If you don't hear, if you call 3 or 4 different times on 3 or 4 different days and you're not getting any answer, that's kind of a red flag. So just reminder to everybody, 'tis the season to be mindful. That's it.
Yeah. No, I like the idea of what you're saying with the shoveling, and we remember we tried doing this a couple of years ago, and we came into
Yeah.
liability issues because we wanted to just match, have a list to give people because of liabilities issues
Right.
we wouldn't
But
be
I guess,
involved in
well,
it.
I guess they did
But
some
now
of that.
that I have the volunteer revere program
Yeah.
up and running, if you can find out any information about that. But the only other problem is I don't want to step on any toes with the JROTC.
Right. But that's
And
all.
I know that was a
That was
touchy point.
right. But that was also a program that has been, they only have a certain amount of
Right.
people enrolled in that. So
Right.
that's also something that separate and equal. I don't know if Somerville even has a JROTC, if they even do that. I have no idea. Like I said, I read this totally off the cuff and I was like, oh, okay, I think I need to make a few phone calls. So when I get the
Yeah,
information,
you can find out, yeah, and
let you
let us
know.
know for next meeting or
Yep.
before then.
Yeah. Or before it snows.
Yeah.
Mm.
Be nice if we don't get any snow.
Well, that's my hope.
Okay.
That's
Perfect.
it.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything? Since none, I believe item number 8 is residents' concerns and issues. Let me just double check that there is no one in here. Okay, just the basic things that I get, calls that I get is just concerns about parking, handicap parking, just some housekeeping that people need to know about. When there's handicap signs on the street, people need to know that the front of the vehicle, when there's only one handicap sign in post, the front of the vehicle goes to the handicap sign. And it goes into the back of the vehicle. There is not a sign right now, so people need to know that you park in the direction of the street. Because I've had some people call about that. Why are they getting tickets when they're don't have a handicap placard and they're parking where they're parking? So if your front of your vehicle is parked close to a handicap sign in the back of your vehicle is not, you're parking in a handicap spot. What I did at the last traffic commission meeting is put in a motion with them to change that from now on, any handicap sign application that is approved, there will now be 2 handicap signs with arrows pointing in. So a handicapped vehicle will now be parking in between the 2 spots. And if there are any issues with any handicap signs that are presently installed on a, it will come before the traffic commission. They'll look into putting a second sign there with the arrows pointing in to designate the handicapped spot. I know of a couple of issues on a couple of streets. There are multiple handicap spots for different residences with enough parking in between for a car that's not handicap accessible, but people don't know where that spot is. So those are spots there that we may need to go and put second sign with the arrows so that the spot in between is not a designated handicap parking spot. So a vehicle without handicap will park there and do it like that. So that's something that I'm also working on with the traffic commission. So if that makes sense, or if, anybody has any questions about that, please let me know. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't have any other any other residents' concerns that I know about. Just that still getting people thinking that handicap placards are still done through the cities and towns, but that no matter how much I post it, put it on everywhere, especially when they're expiring, they think to call the city and we issue them. But we're taking care of that. We're waiting for the city website to be revamped so that we can put it everywhere and do that. That will be coming the first of the year.
Well, we'll piggyback off that and state, contact the registry of motor vehicles, stop contacting the city. It's the registry of vehicles that issues those plates and placards. Stop calling. The city cannot handle it.
Yeah. So that's that. Next steps, item number 9 is next steps. What we have for next steps, Pauline, you have a couple of things on your to-do list.
Phone calls. So I've got the one to Franciscan Hospital for our guest speaker, and I have the one to the city of Somerville to track down what's going on with the shoveling.
Okay. And what I will do, Pauline, is I will, to make it easier for the notes, is I will try and worry about the coda information to put into the notes. I'm just going to need some help to do. I'm not going to be able to do like I did in the past with the notes because this month is going to be a little bit crazy for me for the timeline that I have to get some stuff done for the grant. I'll try and do what I can. I'll send it to you in a Word document, the agenda, so it's easy to work from.
Okay.
And then we'll go from
I'm
there.
going to try a way to do it on my phone because I don't have access to a computer. Mine's dead. Yeah.
I'm going to talk to IT about that too.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to loan me one for, the once a month, I'll be happy to, do it that way.
We're going to talk to them about that.
Do it right now, but I'm with notes. I can do the notes. I just don't have anything on.
To them on. Yeah, no problem. Item number 10 is the reminder. Pauline, if you want to read that.
I would be happy to. So the Commission on Disabilities office number is 781-286-8267. Residents can also call Revere 311 directly and speak to their staff Monday through Friday. They will be able to answer most questions, but if they are unable to, or if you would like to speak to our department directly, please ask to be transferred to the disability office. If we are unavailable, please do leave a detailed message and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. As always, please let us know if you'd like something discussed or brought up and added for our monthly meeting agenda. You can let us know if you would like to speak on any issue or concern. The Commission is here to help and assist all the disabled residents and families of Revere.
Perfect. Before we ask for a motion to adjourn, I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday and to wish everyone a happy and safe and prosperous new year. And we will see everybody in 2024 If I could ask for a motion to adjourn,
Motion
I'll
to
do-
adjourn.
in a second,
I'll do it, Pauline.
okay? Our
good.
next meeting via Zoom will be Tuesday, January 9th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Thank you again, everyone. And like I said, have a safe, happy holiday and also a safe and happy New Year.
You too.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.